the Chief Marketing Officer here at Brandish Social Media in Phoenix, Arizona. I joined the agency about, actually, it's coming up on a year. It was last summer. My business partner, Kelly Lube, she's the CEO. She was the one who founded the agency a year prior to that, and asked me to come aboard. And so we've been rocking it out ever since then. I also revived Social Media Club here in Phoenix, the Phoenix chapter. The Social Media Club is an international brand that it may or may not exist in your city. It's kind of here and there. But it's pretty active in certain places, and we're trying to build it up here. And I mean, I don't know how much you wanted me to go. I've lived here in Arizona for about 11 years and worked in advertising and marketing and sales, and I've done the call center thing. And
wow, you had to do that too?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do so good with like direct sales and whatnot, like direct marketing. It wasn't my thing. I had to.
You know what though? It's good experience. As much as I hated it, and I was in a serious call center job at an online university, 400 phone calls a day, trying to get students to enroll, that sort of a thing, several years back. And I didn't love it, but it was during a time when the job market was a little different, and so I did what I had to do. But it was a valuable learning lesson, because really if anything, it taught me this is what I do not want to do.
Yeah.
And it did reinforce the aspect of still, treating people like people, because a lot of the people on the phone, they were just trying to blow through calls and like talk to as many people as possible and all that. And I really reaffirmed for myself that I couldn't do that.
Right.
I couldn't do that. I had these conversations with people about like why they were even thinking about going to school and really trying to dive in and get the reasoning, and that. I mean, I wasn't super successful. I was okay. I was there for a year, but it wasn't something that I was trying to do my best, but it wasn't really what I knew was going to be my lifelong fulfilling goal, career goal.
Okay. That is actually a really, really interesting topic, just finding out what it is that you want to do. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've tried several different things. And for me, email marketing stuck out to me more than anything that I discovered about marketing, specifically because I could spread my word out there without having to directly talk to people, which is what I didn't really want to do. But at the same time, I'm still talking to people where the conversation is still open, and I could still, offer them products and services and different things that I thought would help them. And it's really about building relationships. You're talking about interpersonal communication and really getting the sense of a relationship with that person, making it more human. And that was huge for me. So I can totally relate to that. I'm sure some of my classmates will be able to relate to that too. So I have a few questions that I wanted to ask you. Mm-hmm. The first is, which professionals do you typically work closest with in your organization, in your position?
You mean by job titles?
Yeah, like do you work closely with content writers or content strategists, or who should I expect to be working with?
We're a boutique agency right now, so we have, it's just the two of us as far as actual employees that are not contractors. Aside from that, yes, we work with essentially account managers, video specialists, content writers. Really across the board, it's kind of like whoever fits the bill for the need that we have. We do a few different things. So the content is whether it's photos, video, or copy. We work with email marketers. We work with audio producers. It's really whatever the need is. It's across the board.
So you subcontract with most of the people that work with you?
Yeah, the things that we don't handle ourselves. We're essentially a startup. So we're in the stage of contracting out some work, for certain accounts. But it's not just a straight, okay, let's just hand it to this person, they're going to run with it. We really do vet who we work with. A lot of the folks are people that either myself or my partner has known for a while, and he has even worked with previously. Here and there, we might not have worked with someone prior, but we know we like their work. We can look and see their work based on who we know they've worked with before, and vet it that way. So it's not just kind of a willy-nilly hand it off to someone just to get it done. There's very much a process that we go through to evaluate.
Okay. You brought up something that I ended up having an idea about. So with subcontracting, I know that you definitely have to think about strategic partnerships. How does that play a role in your organization, strategic partnerships?
Let's see. I mean, we definitely, those exist with us. I mean, we do work with, here and there, we'll work with other companies, other agencies. We'll get work from other agencies. So they'll subcontract to us to manage either a whole campaign or a piece of a campaign. And then even other things that are not as readily apparent to be a partnership that makes direct monetary sense. We're heavily involved with the startup community here in Phoenix, and do work with that community that sometimes is even on a volunteer basis. Maybe like we have an event coming up in Startup Week next week, and in the past we've helped manage their Twitter account for certain days during the week or something, where it's not something that we're getting paid for, but it's a valuable partnership because that's led to other things.
Right, it kind of builds your portfolio.
There's a lot of that here. There's, at least with us, I mean, we definitely try to take that social approach and the not quite philanthropist approach, but we do like to collaborate with other organizations.
That's actually really smart, like contributing to the community, because a lot of people want to see that a company that they're associated with is giving back to the community or doing something
right,
that they're not gaining revenue on. So that's actually really,
I would highly recommend it. Absolutely. I mean, I can tell you just personally the amount of connections I've made, and then work that it's led to, referrals that have come from it for actual business. That's probably been the number one driver for me in terms of referrals, is people that I've met through these other functions that are not even maybe social media related.
So referral marketing plays a big role in getting more clients, like when people refer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Word of mouth.
We primarily our work is off referrals. We really haven't marketed ourselves much at all. It's been all referrals, and whether it's from those other agencies that are looking for someone to subcontract out to, or from this other work within the community with these other organizations partnering up on different things.
Wow. That's actually a really good idea so would you suggest that students coming out of the degree program find some volunteer work to kind of get their name out there?
I would. I mean, internships, if that's a possibility. An internship, I did two intern. Now this is years ago. This is back when my whole goal up until I was, I don't know, in my 20s or something, was to be on TV doing sports. That was in some capacity, that was my goal in life growing up. That was what I was going to do. I went to school for it, and then I did a couple internships at a TV and a radio station, and they were awesome. It was great. But where I was in a place, is Rhode Island, which is tiny, and no one leaves their job. So I had to leave the state, and then it just turned into, I started to evolve as far as my career goals, and I got more into the advertising marketing side. And then this is before really social media was a thing, you know, internet wise, we weren't where we are now in terms of the opportunity that's out there for folks like you and the students coming out. Like, you guys have the world at your feet. You really do. It's totally different than even 10 years ago. You have all this opportunity that's there. You can go and start your own business today.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
I've seen people do it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, show me how you did that. So
yeah.
I totally get that. Where do you think social media is going to be in the next few years? Like, what's the biggest trend that we should watch out for?
Right now, and Facebook is leading the way on video and live video, in particular YouTube, of course, or Google. I mean, Google owns YouTube, and Google's really making a push for not just the big players, but the small businesses and the individual to go and have a YouTube channel and do video. So with Google and Facebook are pushing that heavily right now. That's not going away anytime soon. And I really think I'm not going to say that live video is the be all and end all, because it depends on what kind of business you are, what you're trying to accomplish. But live video is going to be a big piece, I think. You know, just in one area, say like in the news world. In the news world right now, we're not even close. We're at the tippy top of the iceberg of what is going to happen to the world of news with live video. You know, right now you're seeing some, you know, local affiliates and some of the bigger networks, you know, they might, like with the debates or certain events around the presidential campaign, they're doing live videos. Bloomberg has done a lot of it, even on Twitter. So between Twitter doing it, Facebook doing it, Google with YouTube, you know, some people think Snapchat is going to introduce a live video component that's even more so than what snaps are right now. Instagram has live video, which of course Instagram is also owned by Facebook. It's all, you know, don't be surprised if LinkedIn comes out with Microsoft LinkedIn comes out with some sort of live video capability. Even I mean, Pinterest, who knows? Pinterest is looking to go public potentially next year. There's talk of that. So I think that's the next really, really huge thing, but it's not going to be a make or break for every single company as a small business, let's say.
I just have one last question for you, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Mm-hmm. But with social media being dominated by women, every social media platform except Google Plus, I looked it up and I was really shocked by that. I don't know why that would be the case, but it's dominated by women. Can you give us some advice about what type of marketing you think would work best with women in general? The golden egg of the marketing, social media marketing. What kind of marketing do you think we should implement into our daily social media mix?
So not being a woman myself, this is just coming from a man's point of view and from things that I've observed. Um, I think that, and I think most companies and even small businesses probably get this part. Maybe they don't implement it, but the aspect of getting like a testimonial or referral from a friend or family member is I think a big key. It's a big part of it because as we all know, women do most of the purchasing,
Yeah.
the shopping, right, and the purchasing in the home, and for like I'm married, and for my wife, for me to go and say to my wife like, well, we should buy this. Here's why. It doesn't happen very often. It's more often that it's the other way around, and she's looking for or she's telling me is more often. But she'll ask her friends, what, is this good, or I'm gonna get this, or she'll post something and say I just bought this, and then her friends will jump on and say, oh, how does that work? Is that a really good? Is it working really well for you? Whatever it is, a product or service. So I think that it all comes back to the whole influencer marketing aspect. That works for a reason. The companies are doing that on grassroots level to big name level for a reason, because it does work at different levels. So I think that's probably a big factor, is just the interaction and the testimonial, the referral side of it between that audience. And it's funny with Google Plus because that's the one that no one uses, right? And that's the male dominated one.
I found that out and I thought it was really surprising. And one of the things that you just mentioned, you
Mm-hmm.
said influencer marketing, and that reminds me of network marketing grossed over 36 billion last year. And
Oh yeah.
because they're doing referral marketing, network marketing, and that works really well with relationship marketing too, because women, they get together and they use social media completely different than men do. Men use it kind of like a Rolodex, whereas women, they want to get on there and they want to discuss and they want to share, they want to
Yep.
solve problems, where men might say their opinion or like comment on something, but they're not there to share their feelings. Definitely not. So I think that's really interesting that you said influencer marketing, because that I've seen a lot of it. And I think that's one of the reasons why network marketing is so successful. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom. I've got a lot of insight from you, and I know that my classmates are going to just gobble this up, because it's really interesting to find someone that is actually doing it and who is in that position that you're in and who is implementing this stuff daily. I also wanted to ask one more thing.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go ahead and close out the conference call. If you could give us one bit of advice as we go out into the world with our new marketing skills, what would it be?
Just one, huh? Just one.
Just one thing, that one most important, like golden nugget of a thing.
I want to stay away from the kind of the cliche, build relationships and be real and all that, because I think a lot of people have heard that a million times. I don't think enough people probably enough people don't continue to learn as they go. It's especially when you're coming out of school, you've just been through whatever many years of schooling and you've been studying things and learning things, and you're probably sick of it to a certain point, or some people might be, and you get into the world like, okay, now I'm going to apply everything, and really the learning is barely just starting, because whatever is getting learned in school, I mean, time and again, I experienced this. So many people I've talked to, experience this, where it's just, you don't, until you're doing it, until you're in a place where you're seeing it being done or you're doing it yourself, you're really not. You're only 1/3 of the way through the learning process. You did the reading and the studying, but then the doing, and then teaching others how to do it. I mean, that's the capper. If you can show someone else how to do things, that's the key. That's when you truly learned something. So every day, as much as you can, if you can take time out to, whether it's watching someone's 5-minute video or reading a blog that you like, and keeping up with a certain topic that relates to what you're doing in your field, that's huge. That's a huge thing, because that gives you credibility. It gives you knowledge, obviously, and it keeps you up with everything. It keeps your mind sharp. It keeps you involved in the industry. I mean, there's so many different factors as to why to do that continuously. Don't get sucked in, because it can be a time suck. But maybe pick an activity every day, like watching a video or looking at someone's posts that you admire or respect their opinion, or that you want to learn from, model after. That would be probably the piece of advice I would give.
That is brilliant. Learn, do, teach. I heard that from somewhere. Learn, do, teach. And when you learn something, teach someone and you do it, and make sure that you're getting all angles of it. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and that's just in my head, because I was just at a workshop for 3 days with one of the people that I admire and like listen to, because he's a genius at a particular topic, and he's all about learn, do, teach, and he has a whole mentor program for young adults. So he's living it. He's at the credibility. So that's fresh in my head.
Awesome. You have given us so much to think about. I want to thank you so much for giving me your time. And again, can you actually tell people if they would like to reach out to you, how they can reach out to you? Do you have like a social media platform that people can follow you on?
Oh man, I have a bunch. Basically, if you any platform is good. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere. I mean, those are primarily the ones to touch base on, or email. So on all these platforms, is just look up my name, Vincent Orleck, Orleck. On Facebook, I have a page and a personal profile. LinkedIn, that's my name on LinkedIn. That's my name on Twitter. And my email is also that. It's just vincentorleck@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and...
Well, thank you. Thank you for asking me, number one. I'm like flattered that you would ask me to do this. And then I apologize for last week also.